Breakfast puppies, dinner puppies, lunch puppies, ain't no thing. I'll dust all them puppies because I'm Jebediah. I'm the farmer over here. I got all your dusting puppy needs.
This podcast contains adult language and content and is meant for mature audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
We're all set to begin, so let's dive right in to Bikers, Dice, and Bars. Talking bicycles and motorbikes, gamer things and all the like. You can listen to it in your cars, but mostly it's about dive bars. Bikers, Dice, and Bars.
Hey everyone, this is NPC. Due to a major amount of time crunch, this next tiny batch of episodes was edited in more of a rush than our usual process. I really wanted to get the entire 2020 backlog cleared out so I could start 2021 with a clean desk, but I didn't have a lot of time to do it. As such, our usual commitment to a higher standard is not quite as heavy here, and I apologize if the sound quality is just a bit off. This quick edit batch ends with the final episode of our Mothership actual play series. So if you want to skip ahead, we totally understand, but we did have a lot of fun doing it, so we hope you give it a listen. And speaking of Mothership, this collection of RPG sessions was not initially meant to be a Bikers, Dice, and Bars release. We didn't actually have an exact plan for what to do with it at the time that we recorded it, so we just sort of freeformed it. And I'm pretty sure we totally screwed up the rules too, but hey, we had a lot of fun doing it, and we hope you have a lot of fun listening. Anyway, on to the actual episode. Well, welcome to our third session of the Mothership game. This has been quite an adventure so far, and I'm eager for all of you to hear what is in store. But real quick, let's go ahead and introduce ourselves. I'm NPC. I am the game master, or warden, as Mothership calls it. And sitting to my left.
Oh, hi. This is Eleanor Todd, and I'm playing Tulip, the bioadaptate.
And tell us something. Tell us a hint of something in store.
Well, I would encourage you to look forward to the moment where Jolly is floating in a most peculiar way.
I am Dr. Xander Cherrymander, now playing my second character here in Mothership. I am now playing Chip McCoy. Okay, here's the thing. I've been watching a lot of the Orville. I've been watching that with my girlfriend, and so she's never seen it before. And Gordon Malloy is our favorite character because Gordon Malloy is great.
I miss you.
I miss you.
Sorry. Orville reference.
I miss you. You fed a guy to another guy. Anyways, so I'm Chip McCoy, the Teamster pilot who is probably way in over his head right now, but he's a cocky pilot, so he's going to see what he can do here, and is infatuated with whatever the fuck Jolly the Roger is in his weird-ass background and his weird-ass skills and the weird-ass things he cares about, in addition to Tulip, who says words that are way too above his pay grade to understand.
And finally,
Alan Edwards, a.k.a. Abraham Lincoln, 7 years ago. Our father set forth upon this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that there's plenty of alcohol for everybody if you have 15 liters and 2 kegs in your arms, and you can fly in space, and Chip the Space Cowboy can save you. And therefore, I can live forever. And I haven't found a way to die yet.
Now, speaking of Lincoln, Alan, I understand that's kind of your thing.
That's what I do on the side. Abe Lincoln's, or Babraham Lincoln.
Did you say Babraham Lincoln?
Alan Edwards is 100%
Honest
Babraham
Babe
Lincoln.
It's
like
on
the most ripped Lincoln ever.
There we go. Honest Babe
He's
Lincoln
pulling out
is
his card
actually
right
on my
now.
card here.
Well, what's your website so our listeners can check you out and see the babeness in full?
Well, you can go to honestbabelincoln.com and
Nice.
you'll see my website.
Cool. Yeah, check him out. He's spitting image here. It's quite amazing. Anyway,
You also have an Instagram account? Yeah?
And that I do, and it's Honest Babe Lincoln.
All right.
Anyway, I think dear listener, you're going to enjoy what's in store for you as the third adventure in the continuing saga of whatever the hell this crew is called these days. It's just gone so far off the rails. I don't even know what's happening anymore. This is great. Listen in and let us know what you think. All right, Jacob, if Donnie were to bite it right now, how would this go down?
That small whooshing sound you hear for a split second before total decompression goes. You know, the habits die hard. He grabbed for the first thing he saw that he thought could patch the hole and dove for it. Unfortunately, the entire bulkhead pulled away, and he was sucked into space, and his eyeballs popped about 30 seconds later.
And I'm picturing all of this happened as he was in the bathroom. He was the only person in the bathroom, and thus the bathroom got vented out to space, taking him with it. Yep. What an embarrassing way to go. What's the last thing you thought as you were being sucked into space and your body was shutting down and all of your fluids were vacating?
Well, no one could hear it, but he was screaming as he got sucked out the side. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, this sucks!
Well, following up on our previous adventure of Mothership, we lost a good number of our crew. And since Jacob couldn't join us today, we've also lost Jacob, thanks to the explanation that you probably heard moments ago. But let's introduce the current situation. So when we last left off, I believe Tulip had just decompressed one of the hab centers of the Serendipity station. And in that decompression, had lost two of the party members, but also sealed, entrapped, and left to their fate two other party members who got stuck in the actual hab modules. Since then, unable to handle the unplanned decompression of its hab units, the erstwhile colony station imploded, ripping apart at its decaying seams into a dozen or more ruptured chunks floating freeform in the former orbit that the station held. Somehow, Tulip and Jolly the Roger managed to escape, and you got picked up in a shuttle called the Dream of the Idiot Cervantes. A stolen shuttle, one of the last shuttles to be thankfully pulled out of the imploding wreckage of the station. This shuttle was piloted by none other than
Chip McCoy.
Well, Chip, how did you acquire the Dream of the Idiot Cervantes?
Well, I was just going around the hangar bay and decided I'd go to find the best named ship I could. And that one just kind of rung out to me. And I just thought, I'm going to take that little Dreamliner for a little cruise right now. So I just went and got in the helm. I just felt, man, this feels like home. So I just took it.
Okay. And when you left the imploding destruction of the station, as you made it away from that whole dramatic ring of smoke that always blows out whenever something explodes in space in a movie, when you got away from the shockwave, which may or may not actually be a thing that happens in space, you noticed, after doing a quick inventory of the ship's components, that there was actually two other people on board with you. How did Tulip get on board the Dream of the Idiot Cervantes?
The dissolution of the station was unanticipated. The approach was successful, the fire was extinguished, but when things started to come apart at the seams, well, I figured it was time to start planning for contingencies. I knew that there were a number of fit vessels in the docking station, so I went there first, and found that only one of them was crewed. So I snuck aboard.
Now, I'm curious to know how Jolly the Roger ended up on this ship. And unless you've got an idea, I've got one ready to go.
Well, I've got one. I'm figuring I emptied one of my 7-liter kegs. And I used the air that was left in there, kicked out my little space capsule, and then ran for the nearest ship and just dived on with kegs in hand. Kegs in hand.
Yeah, sure. Why not? You were contained in a life pod, but I'm guessing that life pod got grabbed and brought back in. So in the chaos of the implosion of the station, you managed to kick the lid of the life pod open, startle some potential rescuers, and run like the Dickens, carrying a couple of cases of some unknown liquid made at the hospital.
And my 15 liters of quality material.
I mean, quality is relative, and given that it's the only thing around, it's
And
relative.
the highest
It is
quality.
thus of the highest quality.
It is
yeah.
thus of the highest quality in this quadrant.
Pretty much. So you also managed to leap aboard this ship as it was leaving, right before the door was closing.
And wearing his pants.
Well,
Slate's-
dead man's
Slate's
pants.
pants.
Yeah. The former character that was previously being played by Dr. Sander Gerrymander here, who unfortunately was destroyed by explosive decompression.
It happens.
Anyway, so your current situation is you are on the Dream of the Idiot Cervantes, which is a small shuttle. It's one of the retrofitted scavenger shuttles that the people formerly inhabiting the space station, which was formerly a colony ship, have been using to kind of strip the other ships that are floating in orbit around this dead planet.
So am I getting this correct that the entire space station has exploded?
Imploded,
Sorry,
Yeah.
my bad.
and broken apart, and big old chunks of it. The whole thing was held together by duct tape and staples,
Sure.
essentially.
So who do we work for now if the only space station in the region is just done?
This is probably a conversation you should have in a moment. But
Heard.
filling in the rest of the situation to remind you, you're currently in orbit around a dead planet and its weird-ass dead moon. You are amidst thousands of other ships, which, like whatever ships you individually came in on, were sucked out of hyperspace and plopped into orbit around this planet. From what you have been told, jump drives don't work here, and attempts to activate them cause unwanted consequences.
That's what we've been told, but we haven't experienced that.
This is true. None of the three of you at this table, player or character, have experienced the consequences of turning on a jump drive. It's up to you if you want to see that happen.
Make the android.
Well, I've gotten this ship on run. I'm going to go and take quick inventory. And holy shit, what is go the
Hey,
Oh.
how are you doing?
hey, okay? There's some other people on this board. What?
I have alcohol.
You're in. You had me at that magic word. And
Hello.
what are you?
I assume that I appear to be a human, by most regards, although I am not one.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. What are y'all's names?
My name is Tulip. What's yours?
I'm Chip McCoy.
And I'm Jolly the Roger.
Nice to meet you, Tulip. And how did you get on the Idiot Cervantes? I thought this was my vessel.
It seems as though we got on the same way you did.
I think the gods fated it that I want to die.
Y'all stole this ship too?
Well, I don't have the skill of flying vessels. It seems you have that one. But I'm glad that we all wound up on this vessel as opposed to decompressed.
Yeah, that's a good alternative. All right, I guess okay. Well, I got a crew now. That's good. What can y'all do?
I can do anything you want me to do. As long as it keeps
Noted.
me alive.
With
As long as it keeps me alive.
varying levels of skill, apparently. I am hang on a second. I'm a bioadaptate.
That's some fancy words I don't quite understand, but that's all right.
I can my skills are extensive. My ability to learn quickly is enhanced, let me say. And I can survive under circumstances that humans might or might not be able to.
You can talk to the ship. Find
Yes.
out what's going on.
Well, that sounds useful. All right, then. So, I guess we don't have a space station anymore. No gods, no masters.
All right, let's find the...
Where do we go from here?
Our chances of surviving without resupply are very slim, especially for the more biological of us. I imagine as the space station has broken apart, that there will be survivors who try to band together to create a new foundation from which we might survive.
Well, I'm thinking right now what we might want to consider is going and finding one of these biggest derelict ships that's still in one piece, or more or less. Kind of make that a home base of operations so we can go and cobble together some kind of a semblance of order and get ourselves the hell out of here.
It does seem that the previous society had fallen into rather fascistic approaches to governance. And perhaps we can create something that's more open.
Well, I just want to make sure no one takes the sky away from me.
I think we're a good team of 3.
However, I'm not opposed to finding survivors, though, but as long as they're not from that previous leadership of those fucks over at that station.
I do think we'll need assistance.
Systematic execution I'm not opposed to in case we come across some of them.
Well, that's good to know about you.
I'm thinking if we find one that has a good kitchen and plenty of food, I'm set.
Speaking of food, it might be a good idea to check on your supplies. You don't have to roll for this, but if you spend a moment to check your inventory, I'll tell you that there are on this ship just enough food and supplies and general life needs to keep
alcohol.
The 3 of you alive for 7 days.
Now, I don't know much about bioadaptives, but y'all eat?
I am capable of eating and deriving some sustenance from that. Recharging is also effective.
Yeah, but do you need to eat?
I have not yet tested that. The parameters of my life are not well understood. I do eat consistently.
So if we can survive for 7 days with this ship, we could probably survive 7 days with another ship and another ship and another ship.
I do approve of your idea. Perhaps let me interface with the computer system and see what we can find that might be an appropriate place for us to explore and make the foundation of our new collective, let us say.
I think that's a good idea. That we got to come across something that's of decent integrity, ship-wise, and then we can go and start scouting from there, because I know we got to put something on this thing to get us the hell out of here.
Absolutely. And I do approve of this additionally because starting our own structure will put us in a position of control. Whereas if we attempt to join what others will inevitably make, then we are under their thumbs.
So what about checking one of these jump drives and see if we can hyperspace the heck out of here?
Well, from my analysis of the culture that existed here previously, she says, gesturing at the wreckage out the window, if it were possible to depart this area via jump drive, people would have already done so.
Well, how about we find 2 ships that work that way? We find some survivors and have them tested before we do it.
I think the notion of getting someone else to test that is a wonderful idea. We'll need to find someone especially gullible, though.
So I think what we're hearing here is we've got to go find some survivors and some we can go convince to be part of this science experiment in which you are proposing. I am not opposed to that at all.
I think higher priority is to find people that we can trust to work with to make sure that we have the necessary resources to survive. Then once we have established that, we can find people who are expendable and use them for experimental purposes.
Yeah, I don't hate that idea. All right, so search and rescue is what we're going to do right now?
We'll do search and rescue, but it depends on who we find and what path we should take.
Absolutely.
We don't have to rescue everybody.
A moment, please. I take the end of my finger, I sort of pop it off, and then stick it into one of the attachments on the vessel.
Well, that's one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. What are you doing?
And then I sort of steer away and go, whoa.
And I sort of lean my head to the side and smile for a moment as I consider. So I interface with the ship's sensors,
Gotcha.
and with the ship's data banks, if there is any stored data, and look for a good target.
Well, before we move into any kind of mechanical functions, I did want to ask general survey here to the 2 surviving player characters. What are your current stress levels?
Mine says 4.
Mine is 9.
Okay, I need both of you to divide that by 2.
Oh, good.
Okay.
I realized post-mortem that I was doing stress a little bit wrong, and I was giving each of you a little bit too much stress. Unfortunately, Poppy's character probably shouldn't have had that heart attack, or maybe she would have. She was really milking that stress.
Yeah.
She was like 36
things were
stress.
exploding, too.
Yeah, she probably should have only had 10, but even then...
Even if you divide it in half, it's still like a fuck ton of stress.
She
So.
also, I think, maxed that roll.
Yes.
It wasn't great.
Oh, what are the
It was
mechanics
beautiful.
for recovering stress?
Let's review that real quick. So recovering stress is something that you can do when you have some general downtime.
Okay.
Or alcohol.
Well,
No.
okay. Relieving stress can be done a lot like healing from rest. Whenever
Okay.
you can get a chance to rest for 6 hours,
Okay.
you can attempt a fear save to relieve your stress. If you're successful, you relieve 1 stress point for every 10 points you succeed.
Okay.
Critical successes, double the amount reduced. It's not the only way to recover stress. If you find yourself docking at a safe, civilized star point, good luck. If you escape from, if you manage to escape from deadly peril, that can actually relieve some stress. Like, oh yeah, we got away.
Yeah, high fives
sex,
all
drugs,
around.
alcohol, and carousing can reduce stress.
Oh, there's Jolly the Roger right
Defeating
there.
a particularly difficult horror and going a week without having to roll a save. All of these are
A
stress
week.
reduction.
Nice. Yeah, nice.
Yeah. It does specifically note in the rules that taking a rest in cryosleep generally won't allow you to relieve stress. And of course, just like healing, attempting to rest in an unsettling or dangerous environment will mean disadvantage on any fear saves and could possibly gain more stress. Final note, if anybody has a skill like psychology or theology, which allows you to assist other characters in relieving their stress, you can only use it once a day. And you can't use it on yourself.
Very realistic system there, you know?
But is it your face?
Wait. No, totally. I misread that. It doesn't say you can't use it on yourself. It says
You shouldn't be able to use it on yourself.
if you spend it trying to relieve someone else's stress, you can't relieve your own that day.
Oh.
So maybe you could theologically talk yourself into a righteous position, relieving
there
your
is a God.
stress.
Oh, you
God,
can
there is a
meditate,
God. Oh,
right?
God, there is a God.
Yeah.
I'm the God. I'm the God. I'm the God.
And just to note, because the character is new to you, Xander, you are playing what class?
I am playing a Teamster.
And what is the Teamster's special stress note?
Once per session, a Teamster may re-roll on the panic effect table.
Very nice. Yeah. They tend to remain cool under pressure.
So I'm working for the union.
And you're a pilot, or?
Oh, yes. I am primarily a pilot. I am very good with vehicles and mechanical repair. I'm just basically a
Wonderful.
fucking gearhead.
Great. We need that.
That's what I am, basically. And I have 0G, and I'm not quite sure.
Zero gravity and manipulate. It's your ability to move around in zero gravity.
Oh, yeah.
Most people are just sort of float around and like fish swimming in the air, failing. You literally are like a fish swimming in the water in 0G.
Yeah. I'm good at this shit. I'm a gearhead.
So let's go back to you, Tulip. You were going to do something with your finger lasciviously inserted into the computer here. Did you ask its consent?
Well, I mean, it's not sentient as far as I'm aware.
Okay.
So
You don't know.
I don't usually ask my vibrator. So
I like it. All right.
Right. So I want to query the internal library and like any sensor information that it already has, and then also the current sensor suite to look for basically likely new habitation modules for us, like places that would be good for us to investigate. In particular, large vessels that seem relatively intact.
Like freighters and stuff like that.
Yeah, freighters. If there's any like
Star cruisers,
colony vessels that we haven't overtaken
Millennium
yet.
Falcons.
Things like that.
Are we doing this over survivors at the moment?
Well, the first thing is to find. I'm looking for a place that we can use as a base station. Something we could build off
Cruise
of
ship.
and start bringing other people into. A cruise ship would be great. Something bigger that can hold
Perhaps a luxury liner
hundreds of people
Yes.
to begin with.
full of copious amounts of food.
That would be fantastic,
instance.
but unlikely.
Food, alcohol.
The thing is, most places have already been picked over. Actually, that's a good point. If I can prioritize places that like new vessels.
Well, we can go further out than they did on their day trips.
What I'll let you do first is, since I just sort of pulled this ship out of my butt, well, I wrote the name down in advance.
Good
It's
job.
a good name.
I love
Good
it.
job.
Good name.
But the rest of it, I haven't actually. There's a system in this game for mapping out your ship. It's pretty fucking cool. But I haven't done that. I haven't given it stats. Who knows how long it'll keep it? But I don't know anything about its sensor system. So what I'm going to have you do, Captain, is roll me a D10.
That is a 4.
Okay. Here's what I'll let you do. If you want, you can roll a. If you want, you can take 2 points of stress and roll it again and keep the better of the two. The higher the better to
I'm gonna
determine
do
your
that.
your ship's sensor system.
I'm going to do
I'm
that.
just pulling this out of my ass, dear listener.
I like your ass.
Okay.
Wah wah.
Well, that was stupid.
Well,
I
you
guess I'm
take 2
keeping
stress.
the 4.
but a result of 2 is not as good as a result of 4. Okay, so a 4, I will say, it's a passably decent sensor system. You're not going to be able to get like super detailed surface scans of a planet, and you're not going to be able to get internal scans of any ships.
Yeah. But
you can at least get like a general sense of power fluctuations, location within the nearest space. I lose all sense of distance when it comes to space. So like 1,000 kilometers.
That sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah.
Are we able to go and pick up life signs with this scanner?
No. You cannot penetrate ship hulls. You might be able to if you were to pull up next to a ship that had a breach and maybe extend your sensors and hope that you could scan within that breach. But with the sensors that you have, they are definitely not powerful enough to detect life signs.
Great.
Specifically, you would need to be in a much larger ship to have sensors that powerful.
My other question was, are there things that we can feasibly do upon this ship to improve its sensors? I'm a gearhead. What can I do?
Potentially. What you could do is spend some time looking at it. This ship is scavenged together. Now, it's not as if it's not built from like 8 different ship hulls, but it is a simple shuttle hull meant for in-system travel. It doesn't have a jump drive. It is designed to go from ship to ship or ship to planet or ship to station. But it can be lived in. These are the kind of shuttles that some people in various eras and systems might use as personal yachts. You've got a number of rooms here. You have a galley. You have a cargo hold, which none of you have checked, by the way. And you've got a decent set of systems. Like, the systems within the ship are cobbled together, but the ship is functional. Mm-hmm. And yes, roundabout way of saying, if you wanted to spend some time on this ship for whatever reason, you could improve its systems. You would face limits of size. You probably wouldn't be able to apply like a fighter bay to it or a number of missile launchers or a tractor beam or anything, but you could have a nice little shuttle to skip around.
If we were to go and find a better home base of a ship that we could make work, it seems like it would make more sense to then go and make that system a more improved scanning system.
That is entirely up to you and what you find out there in the black.
Okay.
Basically what I want to do, given that this ship is not like prime grade A, this is one of the ones that they were going to send us out in to go scavenging. What I would like to do
this is a mission ship.
Yeah, right. So what I want to do is just assess our current situation. That's the first thing I want to do. Like, what's around us? What are the vessels that are just floating? Are there any big ones? Are there small ones? What's around us?
Okay.
Right? What are our opportunities for immediate action?
Can you nominate a skill that you're going to apply to this?
Computers.
That's what I was going to go with. I just wanted to know if you had a better idea.
I'm good at computers.
Let's go ahead and roll it.
All right, great. How do I do that again?
You're going to roll D percentile.
Yeah.
You want to get as high as you can under that skill.
Okay, let's see. Skills. I've got a number in it, plus 10. So this is going to be intellect, I suppose, plus computers. So that's 61 is what I'm aiming for. I got a 79.
79?
Yep.
The system is currently offline.
Okay. Excuse me, Chip.
Yeah.
It seems as though the sensor suite is currently offline.
Well, that doesn't do us much good now, does it?
Would it be possible for you to repair it?
Well, I suppose I'd give my best.
Well, during this whole thing, I'm going to be checking out the ship, seeing what I can scavenge myself, see if there's any snacks laying around, any alcohol, or anything cool to play with.
There are 2 very large kegs of booze that someone brought onto the ship very recently.
Who? I don't know who.
And a couple spray cans, right?
Whatever you were previously storing on your inventory, you have brought here onto the ship with you. You know what? I'll say there are 2 vac suits that are personalized for someone named, for a very large person named Wilson and a very small person named Kate. And Kate had some crazy neon colors spray painted all over that vac suit.
Oh, cool.
There is a closet near the vac suit area, which is near the airlock. And that closet, you open it up, and there are some general survival supplies, and those being space flares They're like flares, but you
Yeah.
use them in space. A basic first aid kit and a roll of duct tape. And that's it.
You can use them for everything.
And there is a cargo hold, which you can easily walk into.
Of course.
Passing through the airlock
Checking
region
out everything.
into the back of the ship. And in the cargo hold, it's actually mostly empty. You could probably fit 4 Volkswagen buses in this cargo hold.
Pretty big.
That's
There
a
you
decent size. Yeah,
Decent
yeah.
size. And about half of that space is occupied with a row of functioning and occupied cryopods.
Oh, we got our survivors.
What?
There we go.
Oh, okay. All right.
Something I would note, GM to players, is you don't have enough food to feed all of these people.
Mm-hmm.
There's
But they
about a
could
dozen.
be food.
There's about a dozen. They could be. There's about a dozen of them here. This is primarily your method for introducing new party members.
So we should not eat them, is what you're saying.
I would, however, that is entirely up to you. We can find other methods to introduce more terrified party members later.
My name is now Alfred Packer. I'm changing my name right now.
Yeah, this ship was formerly piloted by one Jonathan Donner.
So going back to Tulip's suggestion of trying to repair these sensors, I believe you were talking about.
The sensors are offline.
I have mechanical repair, and my vehicle specialization is in shuttles, which we are currently in. Can I use that to go and attempt to fix said scanners?
That is a good question. So mechanical repair is specifically for, let's see, fixing broken machines. I'm wondering if is there a computer repair that's more specialized? Or
I would assume that would be engineering.
Engineering is design, building, and use of. So that's more like construction design and logistics.
Sounds like repair.
And I'm not
then.
trying to build something. I'm trying to repair something.
Sounds like repair, yeah.
With your mechanical repair, I'll let you easily know that it's not that it's broken. You have a dearth of power on this ship. Your power source is only operating at about 30%. So non-crucial systems, which are long-range sensors and any kind of extended operation things, your shields are down. Everything is currently being pumped into Enviro and life support.
Is it then possible for me to mechanically repair the power source in order to go and pump more power to the ship itself?
Aha, that you could try and do.
Can I see inside these cryopods who's in them?
We'll get back to you in a second. This is going to have some interesting timing.
When I learn that Chip has identified the power system as being the critical issue, I would like to look at the maintenance log on the power supply, like on the reactor, let's call it, and see what the story is. Like, has it recently fallen off? Has someone, like, is there some error that it's logging? Like, what do we know about this this reactor?
Just roll me a d10.
Sure. 4.
Maintenance log? What's that?
Okay. Is there a diagnostic system on the subsystem?
There is a diagnostic system.
I activate the diagnostic system.
Okay, so Tulip and Chip have gone back into the power compartment, the engine closet, as it may. It's kind of a tight fit here. So you're both basically like, Tulip's over here digging into the computer system, and Chip's kind of like shoving around trying to reach the thing and take some analysis. It's not the worst working situation, but it's not the best. So what we can do because of this situation is you're essentially working together more or less to come to the same information.
And I'm supporting him, basically.
Yes.
So whoever has the best role in this can roll and get an advantage to that roll.
My roll for repair would be like 61.
So if I'm reading this correctly, I would assume this would be intellect.
Yeah, intellect plus skill.
Yeah.
Okay. Would it be mechanical repair or vehicle specialization?
This would be mechanical repair. Yeah.
Okay. So when it says plus 10%,
So what is your base?
31,
It would become 41.
41. So
So you should roll to support me.
I should roll the yeah.
Technically, you don't have to do any rolling if you're supporting. All that means is since you're here providing assistance and pointing at things over Tulip's shoulder, Tulip, you're going to get an advantage on this roll.
Okay, cool. What does that do for me?
What you're going to be doing is rolling 3 dice.
Okay.
And again, dear listener, this is my own house rule for how to do advantages in this system. I like this special way better. It's quicker. You're going to roll 3 dice and take the best possible combination of those 3 numbers.
Damn.
I like that.
All right. Good job helping.
You're welcome.
75 is the highest number I can. Oh, wait. It wants to be under my
Lowest.
There's the highest
You want
under
to
my
get
cap. Right?
You want to get nominally the highest under your skill.
Okay, that's great.
But doubles tend to also cause criticals. So, for example, if your skill is 61 and you roll a 60, but you also roll a 55, the 55 is better than
regrettably,
the 60.
I have 3, 5, and 7. So the closest thing is 57 against my roll of 61.
Okay.
Good.
What I will consider that is 5 degrees of success.
Chip.
10, 20, 30,
It
40, and
seems
50.
as though the issue is strictly computer-based.
Not 100% here. Your computer school did the primary analysis, but
Great.
the engineering or the
okay.
mechanical repair skill is pointing out why this is happening. The power system has taken some damage from the outside.
Excellent.
So one of the power cells is deactivated or disconnected, I should say. You would have to actually physically leave the ship EVA and walk around the outside to inspect it to see if you could bring the cells back
Chip,
online.
it seems as though Jolly is going to have to do an EVA.
Or your other option, which I'll give you because that's a really good roll, is you could possibly, if you could find another power source to patch in.
On the ship.
Yeah. Such as a dozen cryopods.
Something
Dozen cryopods
in the cargo bay, for instance.
We got our food, we got our power, we're good.
Well, I don't know, man. I got myself some mag boots. I got myself a vac suit. I can go out there and plug this thing back in. It's not.
But they don't know about the vac suit yet. I go
No,
back.
I personally have one.
Yeah.
Chip, please, aside for a moment.
So there's enough for all 3 of us.
I have to say
If
that
she's small,
I think it's
know.
important that you stay on the vessel. You're the only of us who knows how to fly it. Perhaps you can direct Jolly.
Yeah, I can go talk to him, I guess. It's not that hard. You just got to, plug in, a couple of cords here, tighten some screws there. I'm sure he can probably.
I agree. I believe he would be an excellent candidate for this operation.
How old do you know Jolly? Is he capable of this? I don't know him.
He's definitely capable of this.
All right, well, let's go. All right. Let's go.
But if he's unsuccessful, perhaps you will go outside to help him.
Okay, well, let's go find him then.
You find Jolly hanging out in the cargo bay, looking at what you have just discovered, or a rack of about a dozen or so cryotubes turned on, functioning, and filled with frozen sleepers.
So, hey, we have our survivors. We don't have to look for survivors anymore. They're right here.
Wonderful.
We can do whatever we want to with them.
We just need someplace to live.
And if we have barbecue sauce... Oh, sorry.
Wait,
Do you see, Chip? I told you he's very capable.
Yeah, all right. Jolly. I got a little task for you if you're all right with that.
On that note, can we actually see inside these? Well, who's there? Or what's
you
there?
You cannot. You can't see any kind of strong details.
Oh, okay.
So there is, of course, the common right there above their face glass panel, but it's frosted from both sides. You can clear the frost on the outside, but the frost on the inside prevents you from seeing any details other than the vague humanoid shape of someone there. And the little buttons on the side, you hit the beep, boop, boop, and it brings up the little panel, and you see that the life signs are functional.
How much of a power draw are these things on us right now?
They're currently not a power draw. They have their own independent power supplies.
Oh, excellent.
You could actually shoot these things out into space,
and
there's survival capsules. Yeah.
So, Chip, could you use that power supply and tap it into our power supply to make it work?
Oh, yeah, I could definitely do that. But here's the thing, though.
And we
It's
could
like,
still shoot these out into space. Who cares? But anyway.
All we really have to do, though, is just go to the outside of the vessel, which is why I want you in your vac suit there, is just to kind of go and kind of just gently push this thing back in, screw the little screws on there a little tight, add in a couple wires, and then we'll be good to go. And then we don't have to go kill these people, at least not immediately.
Do you have a connection to these people whatsoever?
Well, no, but we do need a crew, and this is going to go and save us from having to go to that, accidentally get one of them, what do you call them, fascist rulers that were over there.
I believe that is the term. Perhaps warlords, yes.
Yeah. Though we don't have to worry about that anymore. We can just have these people that are still in cryo state, don't know any better. We can just kind of rule over them instead. And then it'll just be, as prim as peach pie. Yeah, it'd be great.
Chip, what do you figure we need for a crew? How many you need to survive?
Well, it depends. The whole plan was to go and get a bigger ship. So if we get a bigger ship, we're going to need a bigger crew. I mean, again, he's talking idealistically. We have ourselves a whole crew in the galley, which means a whole fleet of cooks, some people to wash our clothes, obviously sentries. You're going to have to go have people that work the still, obviously, because your supply is not going to last us that long. And then, of course, people to go and create a better civilization.
I believe there's
innumerable is really what I'm trying to say.
There's a critical.
I think you're looking at a bigger picture than I'm talking about. I'm talking about we just need a crew to figure out a jump drive and it actually works to get us the heck out of here.
Oh, well, in that case, a lot less than what I just talked about right now. However, I do need you to go outside and plug that power shell back in so we can get that going initially.
What if we don't even do that?
The issue is that there is a less than 2% chance that any jump drive that we find will be able to get us out of this location. And while the list of, shall I say, occupations that you generated is nearly comprehensive, I think that there is one important facet that you're missing, which is food creation.
That is definitely true. I do get hungry real fast, so we need to go and find some kind of sustenance.
Scavenging will work for a while.
Be on a ship. However, Jolly, this is why we need that power shell plugged in on the outside. So if you can get the mag boots and the vac suit and everything, plug that back in, we can get our sensors back up and running better, so we can then go and find some food, so we can enjoy your fine liquor that you've also brought upon this here vessel.
Okay, which one do I fit in? Can I use yours?
Do you have a vac suit on your character sheet?
No.
You don't?
Well, we found the 2, and then he has 1.
Yeah, well, you could probably fit into Wilson's. Well, that's a good question. Jolly, what do you look like? I don't think I've gotten a visual description of you yet. I'm just picturing Abe Lincoln, but there's a reason for that.
Well, I'm thinking wiry but muscular.
Uh-huh.
And he's only about 5'7".
Okay.
But he has quick hands. So
you could fit into Kate's suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kate, and that one, I like the look of it. No, we'll go with Kate's suit.
Yeah.
We'll go with Kate's suit.
Yeah, it's covered with like weird graffiti art. It looks very nice.
And I got my spray cans with me. I'll add a little extra to it.
Jolly,
I'll put Jolly across the back.
Jolly, you are very fetching in that.
There we go. That's what I was aiming for.
Well, make a note that you have spray paint vac suit with the name tag of Kate sewn into it.
Well, I sort of cross that out and put Jolly underneath.
Roll me a D100. Let's see what Kate's patch is.
Okay, sounds good.
Roll me D100. We got it.
We've got a 69.
Ooh. It says she's got a patch on the shoulder that says loner in all caps.
Oh, I love that. How long can I hang out outside?
Well, that's
just to make these guys
question.
Nervous.
Jesus Christ.
When connected to an oxygen tank, it holds enough O2 for 12 hours or 6 hours under stress.
Well, I could take a nap out there. Yeah, and then I want to be under stress. So I'm thinking let's do about 11.
Well, these aren't currently connected to oxygen suits, oxygen masks, tanks.
Supplies, yeah.
You could take an oxygen tank from the general life support and use it.
I don't have a problem with that.
Oxygen is rationed, which means that if you take a tank out and you fill it up, that's 12 hours of air that would be subtracted from the group total.
How many hours do we have?
You have, between the 3 of you, total of 7 days.
So 3 times 7, 21 days.
Yeah.
21 days worth. How long do you believe this procedure should take?
Well, I mean, if he's at least as partially competent, it wouldn't take more than about, an hour or so.
So perhaps we should give him 3 hours worth of oxygen.
Yeah, I mean, if he doesn't prove his worth, then that's just that.
It would be unfortunate.
But that would be that.
Well, and then you wouldn't have your power supply, and then there you go, right?
That would be a shame as well, yes.
Yeah, so just don't fuck this up, Jolly.
Just give me one of those 12-hour tanks. Here we go. I grab it. I strap it on.
Okay. You strap it on. You... turn that nozzle, fill it up.
Did you just fill it up with 12 hours?
That's what he said.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Jolly, it is not acceptable for you to take 12 hours worth of
See
oxygen.
ya. I'm going outside. Show me the way.
You are the captain of this vessel. Is this the kind of behavior that
Hey,
you're
what
going
am
to
I doing
accept?
out there exactly?
Well, Jolly, what you got to do there is go plug in this power cell, got to tighten these screws over here, attach these wires to this here component here, and I go and I show him a little, like, coordinate thing. And I swear to God, Jolly, if you come back in here with less than an hour's worth, if you've taken up more than an hour's worth of oxygen, then I know you have done fucked up and you've done fucked us over too. So don't make sure that is not the case.
I'm going to go take my nap out there. I'll see you in 11.
Don't. If you come back in 11 hours, I will not let you back into this vessel. You hear me? I am not fucking around here.
At
Jolly.
10, I'll dangle the little power supply.
Well, so let's play it out.
Let's play it out. Let's see how this goes.
So
Okay.
we send you out there.
So you step into the airlock and open it up, do the decompression sequence and all the things that space people normally do. And then you leap out of the airlock. What do you do? You just fly out?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, now, first off, I need both of the two people inside. You're gaining a point of stress from this.
Why?
Because he just left out with 12 hours of air, and you don't really know what's going to be happening here, and he doesn't seem mentally stable. That's enough to stress people out.
Okay. Let's take a stress or roll against stress.
You take 1 point of stress.
Okay.
There's no roll necessary. You just gain a point of stress.
Okay.
Everything's fine.
As the flames rise around you. Jolly, well, because you said you just leap out, what I'm going to have you do is make a roll here. Do you have the 0G skill?
No, I do not.
God damn it. Told you I should have done this.
I told you should have only sent him 3 hours.
Well, 0G, I'm going to have you roll speed, and you're going to have a disadvantage on this.
Ooh.
So
3 dice and take the worst.
17.
Your speed is 17?
No, I rolled a 17,
Oh, no,
and my
no.
speed's a 49.
So you rolled a 1 and a 7. Now roll a third die.
Okay. And I got a 3.
Okay, so the worst possible combination of that is
13.
a 73.
Oh, highest. But
okay.
What's your skill? It's 39?
49.
49. Yeah, 73 is higher than a 49, which means you leap out. And for a moment, you're like, dude, this is awesome.
This is like so cool. Yeah.
And then you realize the ship is getting further and further away from you. And I was listening closely. No one said anything about tying him down. No one said anything about a tether. No one said anything about any of that. And you're just free floating away into space.
Am I watching this right now? I'm looking. This is like my fucking ship right now.
You are watching it, and because you're watching it so closely, you're going to gain another point of stress.
I am going to try to get Jolly the stupid Roger back. I'm going to suit up. And I'm going to go and try to go and get this idiot back.
And all this time, I'm like just fishing my way.
Because I do have 0G. I do have the ability to go and fish this idiot back to the ship. I am doing that right now.
Okay.
Chip, it seems as though he's not skilled at 0G navigation.
I mean, obviously you're right
I'm
now,
just
but we can't go and afford to lose the other like 33% of our crew. We can't afford to lose that right now.
I would have thought he would have let us know if he was not capable of this.
Yeah, I don't know this guy. You do, so
I wouldn't say that I know him. I know that he stole a great deal of alcohol, which is
well. That's why I allowed him on my
merit to
ship.
you. I understand.
Do you though? All right, I'm gonna go get this idiot back. You go and tie this tether to me, so in case I can't get him, you can at least get me back. I'm taking 3 hours of oxygen because I'm not an idiot. All right, tie me up. Let's go.
Excellent.
All right, so you hook your tether on and you pop the space suit out into space.
Tulip begins interfacing with the cryopods
Okay.
to figure out if any of them are pilots.
First off, ouch. Second, well done. Third, I hope I come back.
Tulip does too. Tulip does too.
We'll get to that in a moment. Chip, well, you're going to... You did mark down the other points of stress I just gave you, right?
I sure did.
Okay, I'm going to have you roll 0G. It's going to be based on speed.
Okay, here we go. I rolled a 65. My speed's 43. My 0G is 10. That does not seem like it works.
That becomes a 53, and a 65 is over that.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. You launch out, but you catch yourself. You accidentally clip the side of the hatch, and that sends you first go out in one direction, but then your tether catches, and when it goes taut, it flings you the other direction around the ship. So you begin to wrap around the ship. Just roll me D10.
That's a 6.
6. Well, as fortune would have it, you are wrapping around the ship and generally going to be landing within a couple meters of the power cell.
Oh, well, that's convenient. I'm just going to go and fix this then.
I'm like monitoring this through the external cameras or something. And I'm like, oh, I approve of this decision.
So where's Jolly?
Perhaps we'll reel him
Jolly,
back in.
you are steadily floating away from the ship.
You're floating in a most peculiar
But they
way.
could come around and get me. I have 12 hours. Man.
That actually was my question. If I can go and get this power shell put back in, can we then go and like pick up this idiot afterwards?
Maybe.
Oh, we'll figure that out later though. But I'm going to try to fix this power cell in the meantime.
All right. So the first thing I want you to do, as you slam your mag boots down to the ship and you
Which I definitely have.
get a hold and steady yourself, I would like for you to, we're going to be rolling a saving throw here. This is going to be a sanity save because this is the most fucked up shit you've had to deal with in quite a while.
Okay. Buckle up.
All right. Saving throws. Here's how they work. You're going to roll D percentile and you want to get equal to or under your save value.
Jesus Christ. Okay. All right. I rolled a 12. That's a way under.
Okay.
That's awesome, right?
Well, generally you want to roll as high as you can under it, which means that,
Yeah, but
12 is still a success.
I still succeeded, yeah?
No, you still succeeded.
Fuck yeah.
You managed to fight off the momentary cloud of panic that's coming over. Not quite panic. Panic's the wrong word. Disorientation, like the void is calling to you. It's surrounding you. You feel that summons, probably the same summons that Jolly just sort of saluted to and embraced wholly. You've managed to stabilize yourself, recenter yourself into the current plane of existence, and ignore the call of the dead planet. Anyway, you want to try and repair this thing?
Yes, I
love
absolutely
those.
do want to try to repair this thing. Plug that fuel cell right back in.
Okay, go ahead and roll that. This is going to be mechanical repair.
That's intellect, I assume.
And the fuel cell, there are two of them, actually. There is the active fuel cell and a reserve fuel cell that are both floating around without any kind of active connection to the power system. Fortunately, because someone was smart when they designed this, they are still tethered to the ship. But due to a breach on one of the panels that was holding it in, they're just sort of free floating.
Question on this, too. I know I have mechanical repair, and that's probably what I'm rolling. However, I do have vehicle specialization of shuttle. Would that help me?
That's a good question. I was assuming that's a pilot skill, but it just says vehicle specialization.
Because I would assume if my specialization is shuttles and I also have mechanical repair, that would go and transfer over to being able to go and mechanically repair shuttles
I'll tell you
specifically.
I'll give it to you. And the reason is that mechanical repair is the arrow pointing skill that is immediately to the left of vehicle specialization.
That is why I fucking took that
congratulations. You can roll vehicle specialization, which will add a plus 15% to your stat.
Well, that's a whole lot of garbage.
Okay. What'd you get?
79.
Well,
Sorry, 76.
What was your skill total?
If you had 15 to my intellect, that would have been 48.
Ooh, yeah. Oh, wait. You have tools?
Yeah.
What do you, I think some of the gear provides bonuses. What do you have?
I got myself a hand welder, which should help. I have a crowbar, which might help. I got infrared goggles and a lockpick set. No, probably not.
The goggles and the welder seem totally relevant.
Those two things seem really relevant.
Also, is there anything
Possibly
I can be doing
crowbar.
from the inside to be helping out with this?
Unfortunately, no. This is entirely an external thing.
Okay.
Yeah. But with that assortment of equipment, tell you what, I will give you
An extra die.
an extra die. You will have an advantage on this roll.
Okay, good.
Yes!
Okay. So now you get to take the best possible combination of those three numbers.
To be under your target number.
Yeah.
Okay, I just rolled a 10.
What are the three digits
That's a
you have?
0.
That's a 0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you put it
Well, then can I just make it a 6 then?
Well, you could also make it a... What's your target number?
46.
Yeah, 6 or a 7,
That's
0,
it.
6 or 0, 7. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's a very minimal success with that. With an advantage, even it was very passing. You just barely managed to plug both of the cells back in before you had to push yourself flat against the side of the ship as a bit of debris almost just knocked you off and cut your tether.
Jesus Christ, I hate this world.
And now you just got to get back into the ship. Meanwhile, inside the ship, Tulip,
Yes.
the power systems begin to come online.
Excellent. What have I been able to learn about the people that are in cryosleep?
Right now, what I'll tell you is that the people in cryosleep are blank slates. We will not know what they are until they are awoken and we roll on the table.
Let's just say then that like they don't have computer records. They're just like pods.
They are
That
pods,
are not
identity-free pods.
Yes. Very frustrating.
Yep.
I suppose I'll have to reel him back in then. Although actually the captain is quite capable. So I will go to the bay or to the airlock where he is tethered. And
You're
I
going to
will
unhook him?
No.
Oh, okay.
I will engage in the process of helping to haul him back in.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm not going to have you roll then to come
should be
back
straightforward,
in.
yeah.
Being able to just sort of mag boot your way across and get in with a tether and someone helping, it's easy peasy. Meanwhile, slowly
Jolly.
but surely,
Yeah, I got 12 hours of air. I'm good.
Jolly
Right?
is floating away at
Enjoying
a
the
trajectory.
view.
At a trajectory, taking him towards the moon.
Well, I just want to know real quick here, Tulip, is there any possibility we can get this crazy-ass guy back in our ship real quick? I mean, he's a little off his rocker, but it seems like it might be useful.
Just a moment. I believe that now that the power is restored, the sensor suite should be working once more.
Yeah, no, I just want to know if we can get this guy back in or not. That's all my...
Let me consult the sensors. One moment.
Maybe you can get there a little faster.
Okay, now that the sensors are online, we'll let you roll to question them.
Okay. 31. It's
Under?
a success.
Okay, great. You are able to get some basic information from the general area. What I will let you do is ask 3 general questions.
Okay.
Or one very specific question. Of
What
the
are the characteristics of the 10 nearest ships?
Based on the assumption that your ship left the collapse of the station and did not hang around to deal with any of its aftermath, you sort of just like boosted the fuck out of there.
GTFO.
Yeah. So based on that assumption, you have moved yourself significantly away from the station out into a mix of random ships. They are all of various shapes and sizes. Mostly in this particular area where you are, where the station seemed to have positioned itself, it's mostly smaller ships. So a lot of shuttles out here and some light courier ships.
Are there any that are especially larger or in better repair than this one?
Actually, yes.
Okay.
There is one relatively larger vessel that looks like a research ship.
Great. And then I will spend my third question gathering as much information about that vessel as possible.
Okay, I will give you some basic information on that one. It is, you get its name, scan off the transponder. It is called the Alexis. You can't really tell much about its contents or its purpose, but there are power signs coming from it. It is minimally online.
And you said it's a research vessel?
Yeah. Appears to be a science vessel.
And it's seems to be in relatively good repair.
Just from checking
Is that correct?
Yes, relatively good repair. And from its transponder codes, you can figure that it was built in the last 30 years.
Great. And then is Jolly floating towards it?
No, Jolly is floating towards the moon.
Okay.
And by this point, you're back on the ship here, Chip.
I don't know. I kind of like this funny looking guy. I think we should probably try to bring him back in. I do like that you went and found that research vessel. We should probably go there afterwards. But let's just kind of go and get a little bit of an effort to go and bring Jolly back into this ship real quick before we go there. I'm a pretty good pilot. I think I can pull this off.
I'm curious if you could articulate your reasons for that.
I don't know. He just seems like kind of a jack of all trades. He's already brought in a fair amount of hooch on this ship. He might know how to distill as well. And I'm not going to lie to you. Those things appeal to me a great deal.
Wonderful. Well, you are the captain.
All right, let's take quick evasive maneuvers. Make sure you get that ship targeted on the nav computers right here. We'll go get him, then we'll get back to that vessel.
Okay, well, bringing in a fellow, moving your ship around, man, I could think of any number of reasons to totally fuck this roll, but I'm just going to give it to you straight. I would like for you to roll your vehicle specialization. Now, nothing about this ship is going to give you a bonus. But
what am I rolling with? Speed, because I'm very speedy on the
you can make a case for me.
So I'm going to go, and I'm going to have to make some very quick maneuvers on the helm here in order to go and bring him in. So I think speed would be the best thing to use for this.
I'm okay with that.
Okay. And I'm thinking I'm on a simple trajectory. I mean, you're just moving
from a straight line. Yeah.
So it shouldn't be too difficult.
No problem. That should be under your number,
it's like
right?
A 59?
My number is a 58.
Well, I can definitely be helping here. Come on.
Tulip, I'm going to need you to go and help me go and navigate this thing here just to pick up this asshole real quick. Is that all right with you?
What I will do is this. The roll was so close that you do not succeed in maneuvering yourself to catch him easily.
So I bounce around the outside,
but
get a few bruises.
You maneuver yourself in a way because you have to dodge a little bit of debris that you definitely don't want damaging the precious cargo that is you on this ship. Now, what it will do, however, is give Jolly a chance to grab on. Would you like that?
Yeah, that works.
What I will have you do is just straight up make a speed check. Oh, and for the record, Chip, you're taking another point of stress.
God damn it.
Okay, Jolly, agility, speed check.
45.
What's your speed?
49.
There you go. Boom. So Jolly.
Oh, snap. Jolly lives again, you son of a bitch.
I will have you roll a D10 and tell me what you get.
A 1.
Oh, nice. You managed to land and grab on smack onto the cockpit, and you are...
And I wave.
You basically latched on to the viewport.
Do we have windshield wipers?
My crotch is fully exposed. No.
No, more like your faceplate is sort of pressed up against it.
No, wait, go.
I smile at you and wave enthusiastically.
So I
go and I haul his ass in.
Oh, yeah. Then he means to be outside.
Okay. Yep. You haul his ass in.
Shall I open the pod bay doors?
Yeah, hell, let's do this. All right, Tulip, let's go. And Jolly, you stupid son of a bitch, let's just go. And
thank you for saving me again.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, I don't even know you yet, and here I am. But let's go to that research vessel. What is that called? The Alexis?
The Alexis, yes.
Let's go to the Alexis. Let's go investigate that vessel here, and let's go see what this is all about.
And Jolly, for your terrifying jaunt through space, you're going to get 2 points of stress.
Oh, I was stressed? Okay.
Captain,
I'm just enjoying the experience.
before we head towards the Alexis, I believe that it is important that I spend some time with my systems deactivated. I've had a number of novel experiences, and I need to integrate them into my intellectual core.
Yeah, those are all words that are above my pay grade. That sounds fun. You do what you got to do. We're just going to go and fly to the Alexis and go see what it's all about.
I sucked down a liter of alcohol trying to recover.
I take a nap for 6 hours.
Let's take a break.
Okay.
Well, let's go ahead and do a little bit of stress relief here. Your group has at least got a moment here where you can rest because you've set a course. Your ship does have autopilot. So now that you have a course, you can easily just sort of set it and go.
I'm going to go and drink with Jolly then.
If you want to take some time and spend up to 6 hours resting or recuperating in your own special ways, you can make a fear save.
Oh,
How do we do that?
how far away is the ship? How long is it going to take us to get there?
It's only going to take you, moving at a very slow and steady speed with autopilot, it would take you about an hour to get there. But you don't have to just get there and hop right on.
I told them I was going to power down. I'm powering down for the whole 6 hours.
I'm fine with just chilling and getting to know Jolly better while drinking with him.
Yeah. We'll just hang out for 6 hours, have our own little party. Oh, we'll throw things at Tulip.
Okay. Each of you gets to make a fear save. And what you do is roll your percentile, and you want to get equal to or less than your fear.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I got a 22, and my fear is 50.
Yeah, no problem. 21 versus 85.
22 is doubles.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
Okay. So I'm going to start with people who didn't get doubles. Elle, what'd you get?
I got 21.
Under?
Yes, well under.
You're going to relieve 2 points of stress.
Okay.
And what did you get there, Jolly?
I got a 22, the
20.
doubles.
That's
and
great. You're
fear
going
is 50.
to relieve 4 points of stress.
Okay. So I'm down to 0.
Cool. You're like a cool cucumber now.
Jesus Christ. The chillest, crazy motherfucker out here.
You like being out in space was a little stressful, but I'm cool now.
Well, hey,
Drinking
it
some,
was a
it's all
great
good.
view, and like going to the top of the roller coaster.
I'm sure it was beautiful, yeah.
Like,
And did you rest at all over
Nope.
here, Chip? All right,
Nope.
Chip. So
I think you got stressed out by
I'm
my story.
infuriated by the fact. Wait, hold on. Is this considered to be a panic roll?
No,
Oh,
it's a fear save.
sorry. Panic effect table.
Well, you're not panicking.
Chip really wants
Yeah.
to panic.
You haven't panicked. This is just a fear save to relieve stress.
I'm like chilling out, and he's like wanting to stress.
Yeah, nothing here has triggered a panic roll yet.
Okay, cool.
Although Poppy had to roll one and failed with a 99,
Oh yeah, that was so bad.
which was heart attack. Yeah.
But hey, she probably would have died anyway because Tulip had shut down her life support.
No, not her specifically.
Well, everybody's.
And I just closed the door.
It was more of a mass killing. It wasn't targeted. Come on.
Okay.
I was following safety protocols. If there's a fire, you have to seal it off.
Well, Chip, you try to rest, but instead you are besieged by fucking weird nightmares. You get these moaning flashes
Oh, jeez.
in red and black of some kind of a sinister, otherworldly black hole-like portal calling to you, summoning you in. It's that same call of the void that you felt outside when you were centering yourself, repairing the ship, but amplified a million times. And there's this whispering, this susurrus of sound that sounds just beyond human coming into your ears. And you wake up not screaming. You wake up sweating and whispering.
Here, have another drink. I think you need it.
Leaning over you, Jolly.
Yeah, I'll take that drink. It's fine. God damn it. Oh, God. Take the shot.
The shot helps for a second, but does not relieve the stress. It, however, calms the tremors in your hand.
I can probably navigate this vessel again. We're gonna be fine.
Oh, you'll be great. Let's make it happen.
At this point, I think we want to go make sure we go and try to dock with the Alexis and put out a search party to go and see what's all the ship's all about.
Okay. What preparations are you going to make before you try and connect?
First, with our upgraded scanners being next to the ship, like you had suggested earlier, that we could go and see if there's any life on board or any other kind of things we can pick up with the scanners being directly next to the ship.
Also, we should fly around the vessel first to see if there's any external damage to it.
Sounds good.
For cursory flight around it is going to be no problem. There's currently there are no blockage. There's nothing stressing you out. There's no source of danger. So it's easy enough without a roll to orbit the ship and apply your scanners to pick up basic cursory information. It is not ruptured. You cannot pick up signs of life because your scanners are not that powerful. The ship is functioning in what appears to be a current low power cycle.
Mm-hmm.
But you do pick up high power signature of something similar to it coming from its cargo hold.
My next question would be, is there anything in our ship's database about this ship? Can we go and search our database to go and see if there's any kind of information about what the ship was, what was on it, what mission it was a part of?
Can we send Tulip over there and link into their computer?
Something like that.
You don't even need to roll for this. Just cross-referencing its name and the ship's database, you find that it is on a list. So this ship that you were on was one of the various scavenging shuttles that the crews of the station were using.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever they would reconnect back to the station, they would get a new upload of data, list of viable targets, and general status. And then the crews were more or less expected to work on their own, pick a good target, and bring shit back. This ship appeared about 7 uploads ago and is still on the list of unscavenged ships.
So it's unscavenged.
Yes.
No, have there been any crews sent over there?
According to the records on this ship, none that you know of.
Do we see any ships attached to this one? Like
Nope.
docked? So no one seems to have docked with it even.
No one.
Okay, cool.
Well,
That's
I'm
great.
ready to go. Hey, Chip, can I go throw on my vac suit and we'll get over there?
Is the docking bay open?
There is not a docking bay, but there is an
Okay.
airlock that you can attach
okay.
to. There is a cargo bay, but you don't have the suitable... You don't have a way to open it.
We got to get inside first.
Yep.
Is the airlock
Actually, I
accessible?
do have a way to open it. I have a laser cutter.
Ooh.
There is an atmosphere.
Okay.
Probably
Just so you
safer
know.
to go in through the airlock. Is the airlock accessible from the outside?
It is. You would
Okay.
have to attach to it or
So
float over to it.
So, Captain, my impression looking at the specs for this docking collar on the airlock is that it is externally triggerable, and the lights on the outside do not indicate that it's been locked down. So we should be able to simply attach ourselves to it, attach our docking collar, and open the airlock.
Well, that kind of seems like a pretty good idea. This seems like a better home base than this kind of pile of junk we've been flying around for a little bit here. So I think
We can
Yes.
keep them together.
Absolutely.
we definitely could.
It was on the salvage list, but it does not seem to have been salvaged yet.
Oh, so there might be actually be some food on here,
Could be very well.
possibly a still.
My impressions are that it's a research vessel.
Well,
So
we'll
possibly
get
a
over
still.
I believe that a research vessel would have the items necessary to construct a still.
That's all I needed to hear. All right, let's go for a boarding party. I want you all to be locked and loaded, however, because we don't know for sure. No one's been on here. So I want to make sure we are armed to the goddamn teeth. And we go and approach this in a very, simple manner. And let's go give this little door a knock. All right? Suit up and let's go.
Captain, I do have military training. I'm curious to know what tactical model you would like for us to employ.
I think she's being too technical about this. Let's just go.
Just make sure no one shoots you. And if they do shoot you, shoot them back. I'm a simple man, but it seems like it's pretty kind of generic stuff to me. If you have better options over, I'm willing to hear them.
Can we open one of these cryo tubes and put a red shirt on them?
I'm afraid it would take some hours, perhaps even days, to resuscitate someone.
No, I don't
these
want to
pods.
resuscitate any of these people.
Well, they don't have to be alive. They just have to be a body shield.
No, but they got their mouths to feed. I don't want to feed them in case they survive, putting a red shirt on them, whatever the fuck that means. But let's just kind of go and knock this can of worms open.
Captain, I understand your rules of engagement.
You set your ship into a synchronized orbit. You line up your airlock, and then you prepare to float across.
I just want to make sure, too, that I'm stating for the record that we're basically putting a tether on this ship, too, so our ship's not going to float away as we're going on this expedition.
Sure, that's probably a good idea.
I just want to make sure I'm saying that out loud because knowing this fucking system and knowing you as a GM, that I want to make sure we're tethering so there's a secure location. So we're like side by side on this ship. We are tethered together. And yeah.
And I have my roll of duct tape.
The captain suggested that we be well armed before we go across. Are there any weapons on board this vessel? I presently only have a vibroblade and a rigging gun. So I'm going to see if there's any upgrades available.
There are no other weapons on this ship. Now, do you know what a rigging gun is?
I do. That's the thing that you can shoot at someone and then it incapacitates them.
It is a harpoon.
Yeah.
A retractable carbon harpoon. It is frequently used in mining. It has one shot. It does a decent amount of damage, though. But
yeah,
It
but
sounds
one
like it'd
shot.
be really big, though.
Yeah, but you got a vibroblade, though. You're just going to cut someone in fucking half.
Anyways, I do look to see if there's anything else available, and if there's not, that's fine.
there are no other weapons on the ship.
Okay, then great.
I'm going to take some of my booze as a possible peace offering if we do encounter anybody.
So you're just going to take one of the kegs?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, just take like a bottle's worth, man.
Do you have a bottle?
Well,
Do we have
we'll
a
find
bottle?
a container.
I'm
We'll
sure
find
the
a
galley-
container.
There's a galley. There's a bottle.
There's a galley, yeah.
We'll
Is
find
there,
a container.
is there a bottle in the galley?
Yes.
We're taking a bottle's worth. Don't take all of it. You
Okay.
All right, I'm going to be armed with my, what I got here, a laser cutter.
Awesome.
I also have infrared goggles and a crowbar, and I mean to do business.
Okay, so
Hey,
you
can
know
I
a
borrow that
laser
crowbar?
cutter is a heavy rifle, like heavy.
Oh, I know.
It has a wide beam laser, and it's built to scrap ships. It has a 700-meter range, and it takes a full round to recharge after every shot.
That's fine. What's the damage?
The damage is D percentile.
Sorry, what?
Or it does 1 point of MDMG fired against a vehicle or ship, which is a lot.
I have a
sounds
tranquilizer pistol, and which I want to take with me. So,
Okay.
along with my booze.
Yeah.
Oh.
Tranquilizer pistol is a good idea.
What's the crowbar do?
The crowbar is a crowbar.
Yeah, I can hit someone with it, though.
You
That's
can hit
what
someone with it, yeah.
Cool. We'll figure that out.
We'll figure that out if and when that comes to play.
All right, well, let's go and start exploring this ship. I want to make sure we have a tight crew of 3. I want to make sure we go and do room by room. I want to make sure that we have all of our exits and entrances covered at any given time. I want this to be a clean sweep. Are we good with this?
Like, how big is this ship?
It's at least 2 decks.
Okay, but so it's plausible for us to clear every room on the ship.
It's possible.
Okay.
Yeah, could be.
Great.
I just want to make sure.
Yes, Captain.
Just go room by room. Let's keep this tight. Let's keep this all together. We do not split up under any circumstances. Y'all understand me?
I think first we should have Tulip take off her finger and check out the computer.
Once we're near a terminal that's appropriate, I think that's a good idea.
I think it's a good idea, too. We'll cover you while you do that, too, Lip.
Wonderful.
All right? That sounds good. Let's find a terminal. But before that, let's go room by room until we find a terminal. Does that sound good to y'all?
Superb.
All right. Let's break.
The airlock itself is sealed, but there isn't any kind of an overriding security thing. So it would be easy to access, but you do have to get authorization. So it's not on lockdown so much. It's that normally in these situations, when you want to connect, you would send a message from your bridge to their bridge and they'd be like, oh yeah, come on in. We'll unlock it. Now, if they were in a situation of lockdown, there would be no fucking way to get through this airlock without cutting through it.
There's guaranteed to be an emergency protocol for opening it from the outside.
There is an emergency protocol. There are a series of hatches that you can open, and there are some levers that you can pull. Mm-hmm. And provided it's not an emergency lockdown, those levers will pop it open.
Right,
But there could be decompression problems from that. A much more simpler method would be to lasciviously massage that with your naughty finger.
Oh, is there a terminal on the outside?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, Captain, an interesting possibility has surfaced. It seems as though there is a computer access point on the outside of the ship.
Well, if that's the way we got to get this thing open, that works for me. But I want to make sure you go and get as much information from that ship's vessel as well. You can transport to us as well.
Wonderful.
While you're going and opening up this little can of worms here.
Wonderful.
Go ahead and make a computer roll.
No problem.
Okay, you are able to open the door, but unfortunately, this port.
By the way, it's a 54 against a skill of 61.
That's a very good roll. This port doesn't have any kind of database or informational access. You can simply turn it on and off, kind of thing.
Oh, so it's just access for that thing.
Yeah, it's just an external entrance. Essentially, it's a keypad.
Okay, great. Yeah. So I'll own it and then open up the airlock.
The airlock matches pressure, unseals. Your group steps inside, seal it behind, and then it repressurizes. Even in your suits, you feel a little dirty. Something about the air that's flowing in, it feels thicker than you would expect. Derelict ships, who knows what's been floating around in their ventilation systems. But the pressure settles, atmosphere is positive, and the other side is ready to open if you wish to step into the ship.
Can we do any kind of analysis of the contents of the air, if it's toxic or any kind of disease or ridden, anything like that?
Do you have any kind of analysis kit of scientific scanners or tricorder?
I have a bioscanner.
Yeah, bioscanner. Yeah, sure. Why not?
That seems relevant.
All right, let's use that. Go ahead and I'm not going to make this a roll. Raising the bioscanner and doing the little boop, boop, boop on it, it detects that there are trace elements of some unknown substance in the air.
That is not at all helpful. Great.
It is an organic substance. It does not register as a disease or a virus.
Can we do a further analysis of that?
Not without better equipment.
Captain, I believe this is a research vessel.
Well, I guess that makes sense. There's something weird here in the air. Let's go keep our helmets on. Let's go keep Frosty over here. We'll go try to find one of them, what do you call them, laboratories or something like that? See if we can do analysis.
That is a valid pronunciation.
Oh, thank you very much. You know, a lot of your words are over my head, but this one's not. So, all right, let's go room to room. Let's keep doing the sweep like we planned on doing until we get to that lab. We'll do a little analysis once we get to there. Sound good?
Wonderful. And if we see an interior computer terminal before then,
we want to hit the kitchen. We want to hit the kitchen. We want to get as much food onto our ship.
Well, wait. Well, hold on there, Jolly Roger. I want to make sure that we don't go and get some poison tainted food in our ship too. Let's get this analysis done first. All right. I know you're hungry. I'm hungry too.
Won't alcohol count or some of that?
Probably not. But let's just go room by room for now. All right. Let's break.
You move into the ship, and you step into the hallway of the Alexis. The hallway extends to the left and to the right. To the left, you see a small confluence of doors where the hallway ends very shortly. There are two smaller standard crew-sized doors, and there is one larger bulkhead-sized door. Bulkhead doors being more or less individual airlocks themselves. They're just not multi-chambered and built for pressuring, but simply for sealing off sections of a ship. The hallway also extends to the left, but it kind of zigzags and goes out of view. Light here is minimal. There are no sounds of alarm. You hear your own breathing, nothing else.
So from the external reconnaissance we did, what is to the right and to the left?
You're not sure.
I mean, we can sort of know generally one direction is to the
left is probably the fore, and to the right would be the aft.
Ah, okay.
I'm not wearing any pants.
You're wearing,
I'm wearing
a
the suit, but I'm not wearing any pants.
That's good to know. I'll keep that in mind.
Check.
Check. So do you head to the left or to the aft?
The left seems kind of where it might be more. There's some kind of crew quarters. Is that what it seems like?
There are two smaller general doorway-sized doors. Like you would picture a standard hatchway or an entryway going from room to room inside a ship. Whereas there's also a larger bulkhead door signifying that there's something either important or another part of the ship beyond that. If you go to the right, you're not sure because it zigzags away out of sight.
I mean, I think my guess right here, guys, is going to go to the left here. Just make sure to go. There's no one else here on this ship because we don't want any surprises later on. Let's fun surprises now.
Wonderful.
And then we'll go to perhaps the cargo hold after that. So let's go to the left first here, do a room by room sweep. Let's keep it tight. Let's keep it needy. Let's go and do what we got to do.
Let's make it happen.
All right. Oh, and I should say, there is gravity here. Just a few short steps and steps to the left. Doorway on the left, doorway on your right, and then dead ahead is a larger bulkhead door. And these do have labels on them. The door to your left says crew chief. The door to the right says life support. And the door ahead with the large bulkhead says science lab. One note is that the airlock door to the room ahead is dented and heavily gouged.
From the inside or the outside?
From your side.
My other question, too, is do we have any kind of scanners that we have on our person right now that might be able to go and give us any kind of insight to what might be in the rooms ahead?
I don't know. Do you?
Bioscanner, for instance.
Through a bulkhead door? No.
Okay.
You said crew chief is one of the doors?
Crew chief is one of the doors. Yeah.
Captain, I advise that we go into the crew chief's quarters. He'll certainly have a log of any significant activities that happened before this vessel became derelict.
Well, that seems boring. Let's go get the supplies we need for life support.
I'm going to go with that bioadaptive here on this one right here. Let's just go and get some information because I don't want to walk into anything kind of blind right now. Let's see if there's a terminal in that crew chief's quarters. Let's get this. Let's get this can open.
I roll my eyes and follow him anyway.
The door to the crew chief's room is sealed.
See, it's meant to be.
I hack the door.
There's no terminal.
I don't hack the door. I say, Captain, there's no terminal for this door.
That's all right. Don't worry about this. I'm just going to go here and all right. I need y'all to get behind me real quick. And I go and I cock my laser cutter.
Okay, so you're actually going to fire up the laser cutter.
Okay, quick question here. Again, I have a laser cutter. Clearly, I've used a laser cutter before. Does it make sense to use a laser cutter at this door, given the horrific nature of this game itself?
Like, would the Teamsters approve of this kind of use of a laser
would the
cutter?
union be okay with me using a laser cutter on this door? Is it a
Why
danger?
are we wasting our time with a laser cutter if we can easily access other spots throughout?
I just want to blast open this door. Does that make sense to do? Like in this world, is this a stupid thing or is this like a thing that makes sense?
I believe that this is a weapon. It is clearly in the weapons section.
It's a weapon, but it's used to go and cut open.
True, but it's listed with a whole bunch of military weapons, which in my opinion means that it can be used as a weapon, which means that it can be used in a controlled fashion that you don't have to fire it 700 meters at a time. So what I will say is that it is possible to use it as a small localized cut if you wish to just simply cut through the door. But because you're working on a micro scale, you will have to roll your combat in order to rein it in.
What's your combat?
35.
Oh, fuck that. You're all going to die if you do that.
So I will throw you a bone here. I would like to recommend that you do have another piece of gear that is useful.
I got a fucking crowbar is what I got. I'm going to crowbar this fucking door. I'm going to crowbar to this door.
Slightly smaller scale than you like. Than the construction laser.
I'll add a little extra strength to it.
I will say I momentarily go and raise my laser cutter and I go. And as I lift it up, I clink my crowbar and go, oh, yeah. And I put the laser cutter back down and I pull out the crowbar instead.
Well, by yourself, breaking it open with the crowbar will take a strength roll.
Well, I'll help him.
If someone is
I'll
helping
give an
you,
extra push.
great. You're going to be rolling with an advantage. So roll 3 dice.
Okie dokie.
Take the best combination of the 3.
Here we go. So my strength is 43. My best combination would be a 28.
28. That's pretty good. Yeah, you lean into it, and then after just a few moments, you hear that pop as it goes off the track, and you're able to push one of the doors aside and scoot into the room. You don't smell anything because you're wearing a vac suit, but you do see.
BO, is that what you're telling us?
You smell yourself, I guess. You do see the small, cramped, sort of Spartan crew quarters of the chief, and he is quite dead.
Oh, he's in there.
No, he's in there?
Yeah. The dead chief is laying face down on his bed. It looks like he has been gouged in half, but then reassembled and laid peacefully down on the bed.
Gouged in half, like he's been cut in two, and then someone went and like put him back together on his bed. Is that what I'm hearing?
Like a research experiment.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
It's casual. There's a mirror in the bedroom that is currently covered with a dirty shirt. Got a locker. Otherwise, it's a pretty Spartan room.
Any snacks?
None that you immediately see.
Is there a terminal in here? Any kind of computer access point?
There is a smashed hand terminal. Its pieces strewn across the room and covered in blood dripping, or blood has been spattered all over the shattered remains of his hand terminal.
I noticed the terminal.
Yeah.
Seeming to have no emotional reaction to the blood all over it. I sort of look at it and I lean my head to the side and I look at the spot where it interfaces. I detach it from the wall.
It's like an iPad. So
it's
his
wireless.
personal hand terminal. Yeah. Smashed.
Is there a data port in here?
No.
There's no data port.
Just the hand terminal.
Hey, guys. This looks like something I did on another planet, and it doesn't end well. So I think we should get out of here.
I'm actually okay with this notion right here. I mean, I don't know what it means by you saying that you've seen this on or done this on another act. Okay, what is your history?
And anyway, how about we just save ourselves, get back on that other ship, get away from this one, and find a different one?
It's unlikely that you're going to find another vessel that has not been stripped already.
I don't care if it's stripped.
Especially one with so many resources.
Can I borrow your crowbar?
I want to know what kind of reason you want to borrow my crowbar for, but also, too, I do have to agree with Tulip here that this probably is one of the best vessels we're going to find in this, fucking kaleidoscope of bullshit out here in this part of space. So I'm not done scavenging this ship yet. Jolly, if you want to go, that's up to your prerogative.
Right.
However, the spoils will not go to you if you abandon this mission.
Then the ship shudders. The lights flicker a bit. And aside from your breathing, each of you then hears a sort of I guess from the insides of your helmets, it almost sounds like a very distant, faint whistling, like a rustling of wind that has a very high, almost musical pitch to it.
It's like a decompression sound or something screaming?
Sounds more like screaming.
Oh, okay.
The ship shudders for exactly the span of 1 minute. After exactly 60 seconds, it stops.
I'm heading back to the other ship, no matter what. No matter what.
And then the lights come back on, and everything is settled.
Tulip, you got any idea where the engine room might be on this thing, or any kind of power terminals? We're going to go and try to stabilize this thing real quick.
It seems as though they used wireless communication on board for the crew quarters. I would imagine that the research center has ports through which I could interface. Similarly, the engine room is towards the aft. I would imagine there have to be hard connection data ports there.
Well, let's try to get towards there. Let's stabilize this vessel. I don't want this thing lost to us. All right, let's go.
Understood. How do you want to deal with Jolly? He seems to be fleeing back towards our original vessel.
Jolly, if you want to abandon this mission, that's up to you. I'm not going to make you go and walk through death's door. However, if we go if we go and find spoils on this ship, I'm not going to let you be privy to them if you abandon this mission. That's up to you.
I'm simply saying that we should go back to the other ship, wait a few hours, see what's actually going on this other ship, and then come back.
Charlie, we have no ability to gather information from outside of this vessel.
Well, but if it's shuddering and doing weird things, we maybe want to move away from the ship.
Are you unaware that the entirety of our experience at this point seems to consist of weird things?
Jolly, in addition to this, too, our sensors cannot...
What of our recent experience would you categorize as not weird?
Well, nothing's weird, because I'm not wearing pants. I don't care. I just don't... I mean, hey, I'm going to live forever. It's the two of you are not going to make it. So it's up to you if you want to continue. Okay, I can continue. But if you're not going to make it, that's up to you. So.
Well, Jolly, I told you my position on here right now, and that's we're going to go forward. We're going to go try to secure this ship, get into the engine hull and the reset center. And
I say we hit the galley and we hit the engine room, and then we get out.
Yeah, we got to stabilize this ship first before we can get the food off of it. I mean, again, we want to make this our home base, and so we're going to make this our home base. Then we're going to have to go and stabilize this ship. That's the first thing we have to do. Then we can go and eat afterwards and get shit-faced, and I'm 100% down with that plan. However, as the captain, unfortunately, I have to go and make priorities first.
What was the other door in this section?
The other door was Biolab.
Biolab, okay.
That sounds like a bad idea.
That sounds like a really bad idea. Let's not go to the Biolab.
It's very likely that there is a research terminal inside the Biolab.
It does look like something recently, or at some point in the past, really, was trying to get into it.
So, if I'm not mistaken, too, you said there were numerous, like, indentation marks.
Indentations and gouges.
Does this look like a biological fucking awful creature perhaps has gotten loose on this ship and then fucking murdered everybody? Is that what I'm trying to understand here?
Well, I don't know, but we've just seen a half-cut open individual and pieced back together.
Sorry, I must clarify, he was fully cut open, not half, and then reassembled.
Captain, I will point out, if there is some sort of biological entity that is violent, it's very sentimental. It cut the crew chief in half and put him back together.
All right, so we got a really, a sentimental murderous being on this ship. That doesn't make me feel any better at all.
It's an important distinction.
So, Tulip, you have to ask yourself, do you want to be cut in half and put back together and feel good about it?
I haven't had that experience before.
I think the main thing we should do at this point is kind of avoid the areas in which this rampaging biological decapitating beast creature has gone through, and instead try to go, if we can, maybe try to find an armory instead so we can better equip ourselves in case we come across said biological decapitating being.
So then your plan is to skip the biolab for now, but try and move backwards.
Before we do that, really quickly, we're in the freaking crew chief's quarter.
Uh-huh.
I want to look through this space. If anybody has diagrams of the ship's layout, it's this motherfucker. He probably has a picture of it on his fucking wall.
I'll tell you what. I'm going to give you, throw me D's percentile and tell me what you get.
57.
There's nothing drawn here. This is actually a very Spartan room. It doesn't feel like he spent much time. There's not even a desk.
Oh, fucker.
Like, this is definitely where he came and hung out for a little bit. He's got a small chair that's kind of like a beanbag chair in the corner.
And like a pile of crusty hand towels.
Yeah, and the beanbag chair, the beanbag chair clearly has a butt print indented into it that has been indented into it after many sittings in that
Captain,
chair.
this room is disgusting. We must leave immediately.
He's not the captain. It's crew chief.
I'm talking about to my captain.
Oh, gotcha.
Is this a female crew chief?
No, he's a dude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. What were you saying?
I was saying, Captain, we must leave immediately. This place is disgusting.
Is there any indication where the helm might be? There's got to be a terminal up there at
It'll
least.
be to the 4.
Yeah, let's go and try to find that thing at least. We'll get a terminal to you. We go try to find armory because I don't want this decapitating beast to come across us any kind of manner.
Typically, the armory would be near the bridge.
All right, let's go there too. But let's again keep a sharp eye. Let's go and keep all of our weapons on good to go. I don't want to fuck this up right now. All right.
On a ship of this class, standard layout may or may not, like they probably don't all match each other, but you can generally expect a lower deck to have service, science, and engineering kind of stuff, probably cargo. Usually you can expect the higher deck, if there are multiple decks, to be dedicated to crew, living, and command. That's fairly common in most multi-deck spaceships, unless they're specialized for various purposes. This one clearly seems to have the crew chief down here. There's a biolab down here. You can expect that engineering would probably be down here as well, especially the crew chief. If he has his stuff down here, engineering's probably down here as well.
Yeah, I think we should probably still try to go to the bridge right now. That would probably have the most information we can probably find. So let's just go ahead and do that and try to locate that place right now. But again, keep your weapons frosty, keep your ears to the ground, and let's go and make this as quick as possible and as safe as possible for y'all.
You keep adding locations. Let's limit the number of locations we're going to, because this is not going to be the ultimate place we stay.
So what's your main destination?
I guess bridge.
Main destination is going to be the bridge right now.
All right. So you head back the way you came, ignoring the airlock into the biolab for now, looking for a way to get a deck up. I think we're going to call it there as we move further into the ship. Okay. We'll pick it up next time.
Thanks for joining us, friend. We've reached the end of Bikers, Dice, and Bars. Talking bicycles and motorbikes, gamer things and all the like. You can listen to it in your car. But Bikers, Dice, and Bars. Bikers, Dice, and Bars. Bikers, Dice, and Bars. Bikers, Dice, and Bars. Yep.